PGurus channel. I'm your host Sri Iyer. Today we have a very important session with Dr. Subramanian Swamy, former Law, Commerce and Justice Minister and also a six-time parliamentarian. And he's going to share with us his thoughts on what is going to happen next in the National Herald frauds case. And we saw that a lot of activity was happening yesterday. A lot of young Indian officers were raided. Some of them were even sealed. Now, what we have to see is what else is going to happen. Will the ED take Mrs. Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi for custodial interrogation? And if so, what do they expect to get out of it? All these things, let us listen to the person who made it all happen, Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Dr. Swamy, namaskaram and welcome to PGurus channel.
Yeah, thank you very much. I was not the only one. You were also there. You wrote a book, which I can see hanging on your wall, the front page
Yes,
of
sir.
that.
Yes, sir.
Ramesh played a role. Then Gopi Krishnan, MRV, Venkatesh. So many people played a role. There was a young lawyer at that time. He just had graduated. I think he's too shy for me to mention his name. And then later on, he went to his own legal practice, but he did tremendous work. There's Ashirvadam also. So a lot of people were there, but the driving force, I can say that I was there to see that this is not just going to be an academic exercise or that we'll give some press conference and leave it, but take it to prosecution, because that time the Congress was ruling or the UPA was ruling, and there was no question of getting matters decided by just giving a letter to the prime minister or something like that. So therefore we said from beginning that we will make a private complaint. As you know, there are two routes in the criminal law. One is a law where you go to the police station, they register an FIR, and then on the basis of the FIR, the police then starts the investigation. The other is go straight to the magistrate, and the magistrate will puts you on the stand, and then you make a statement, and if the magistrate thinks there's a prima facie case made out, then he issues a summons, and the trial and then the process of leading to a trial takes place before they get convicted. So there are two different routes. And sometimes I'm shocked that people who claim to be lawyers and are practicing law and so on, like Chidambaram, saying that where is the FIR in this case? Of course, he's now stopped it after I blasted him, saying he's an illiterate. Uh, that is one route. But we didn't go to the police station. We went straight to the court. I went on the stand, and I was questioned by the magistrate, and finally she came to she is a very brave lady, I must say. She came to a conclusion: yes, there is a prima facie case made out. So she issued the warrants, I mean the summons. So now we have also been hampered by the fact that every step we have taken, the Congress people accused Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Motilal Vora, Oscar Fernandez, they would appeal against it. First in the single judge, then in the double judge, or in the, what they call as the division bench, and then the Supreme Court. Now, people say, why you taken 10 years? We haven't taken 10 years. It's these people who, by going to court, and by the time, even now, there are things which are pending in court, you see. So, what I would say is that it's a remarkable thing that because of me and my colleagues and I, we have been able to meet this challenge of postponement, delay, and so on, and then there's a change of government, and then this happens. Now, first of all, I began with 4 IPC statements. I mean, IPC violations. I'm planning now to add a 5th one, which I'll tell you is quite sensational. 4 one was conspiracy, that these 4 came together in a conspiracy. Okay, that was easy to prove. Then it was, what in popular language you call as 420, cheating. Then misappropriation, criminal misappropriation. So we had four charges, and there is a fifth one also, which is misappropriation charge, but it has got some extra conditions. And if I am able to bring it on board, and I think I will be, and convict in the process of the prosecution that's going to happen, then they will the affect the those who are being found guilty will have to suffer life imprisonment. This is section 409 of the IPC. So this is the core, and this is the core case. Now, after that, the income tax got into the picture because I made a complaint to the income tax in writing. And so the income tax has produced a tremendous report. If you really want to see documents and analysis and so on, you must read that income tax report. These people went to the High Court, single judge, double judge, lost. Then they went to Supreme Court, they've lost. And of course, the Supreme Court said go before the tribunal. So the tribunal, and they've the income tax people have won it there too. So now there is a question of income tax prosecution also, where many things for us in the criminal cases also be discussed. For instance, income tax says there is no record whatsoever of 90 crores having been given by Congress party to the AJL. This is the latest information. So even that 90 crores for which you were saying that you did this and that, it is a fraud. It's another crime which I will now think of. I think probably 409 now will be easy to bring in into the thing. Now, so this is the income tax comes under a different act. Then I found that since the young Indian had only 5 lakh rupees as their total paid up capital, how did they manage to give 50 lakhs to the Congress party to own that 90 crore, so-called 90 crore loan from Congress to the AJL? And I found to my utter surprise, because 50 lakhs was paid when the total paid up capital of the young Indian was only 5 lakhs. So where did this money come from? So that explanation led me to Dotex. That Dotex gave them 1 crore rupees. Now the AJL, the young Indian accounts show that this 1 crore from Dotex was actually a loan. I thought that is also a mystery, because there is no rate of interest charged. There is no mortgage to be made in that. It is just a simple thing of claiming that this was a loan. But the accounts of Dotex after my complaint to the ED, saying that the Money Laundering Act has been affected, because where did this money come from? What is the basis? And they did this survey and found that in the accounts of the Dotex, they have put it as donation. So they say we gave them 1 crore donation. These people say we got 1 crore as loan without any interest to be paid, no mortgage, no time period. I mean, it's unheard of. Now, what the ED has done some remarkable research. They have found that this is also where the Dotex was taking money in dollars and giving you in rupees. So it's a money laundering outfit. And now the Enforcement Directorate has found, and they've told me they're going to start a new prosecution on that. And that is that Ms. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi have been frequently using this route to bring money from abroad and then translating it into rupees in India. So all that is going to come out. Already Rahul Gandhi's accounts in Pictet Bank in Zurich has been identified. And there's another bank whose name I've...
Is it Saracen, sir? Saracen Bank?
Yes, Saracen Bank. Correct. You got a better memory. Saracen Bank in Geneva. And that Sonia Gandhi had it. So now maybe we'll discover more now, because they must be doing interbank adjustments to buy something or buy some shares and so on. As you know, Rahul Gandhi has declared himself as a British citizen in that company that he started in Britain.
Back ops.
Back ops. And Mr. Amit Shah, for some reason, I mean, Rajnath, when he was Home Minister, he led it to the situation where he confirmed it all from our embassy and so on. Yes, he has started a company. Yes, he has a house there. Yes, he has claimed to be a British citizen. And thereafter, he issued them Mr. Rahul Gandhi a show cause notice just around the time of the 2019 elections. But he never replied. And Mr. Amit Shah has yet to write to him saying, what is your reply? Otherwise, we'll unilaterally take action. Now, if indeed it turns out that he was a British citizen, as he in his own signature in their equivalent of our the monitoring organizations of our country, like they call it company board or something like that.
Yeah, company's house.
Company's house, yes. And there he has said he is a British citizen, and he's given his local London address, which has been examined by our embassy to find that yes, indeed, he stays there when he comes. So that means Article 9 of the Constitution says that if an Indian citizen takes a citizenship of another country, immediately without any further paperwork, his citizenship of India is cancelled. He is no more a citizen of India. So Mr. Rahul Gandhi is not a citizen of India. But that angle also is lying in cold storage in Mr. Amit Shah's office. So these are the things which show income tax, this PMLA, and I had made a complaint that the DDA, the Delhi the Development Authority, which used to work for, it's a part of the central government, but it used to build houses, it used to make roads. It was basically for development of Delhi, and they had set aside a large amount of land on Bahadur Shah Zafar Marg only for the purpose of people wanting to print and publish newspapers. So Indian Express was there, Times of India was there, because now many of them have moved to Noida or across the Jamuna. So they are not, and so for National Herald, due to Jawaharlal Nehru's influence, they got a huge land at a very rock bottom price to build a premise which will be having a printing press, and the National Herald and Qawmi Awaz and one more in Hindi, they would be printed there. Now, when in 2008, Associated Journals Limited formally closed printing of the press, they declared that their company was bankrupt. At that time, the Motilal Vora and others who were heading the AJL, they ripped apart all the machines and cleaned it up. They have opened a Government of India's passport office, which S.M. Krishna, when he was in the UPA as a foreign minister, he gave them. Huge area, a huge part of the huge chunk of the. Then, of course, Tatas are there. TCS is called Tata Consulting Service, and Tata Electronics, etc. They are also there. There are a number of foreign companies. So they were getting rent on that. And all that rent was now going to young Indian, because young Indian acquired 100% of the, or 99.9% of the shares of AJL. How did they acquire it? 90 crores. Paid 550 lakhs. Congress wrote off this. This dud loan is now transferred to the ownership of young Indian for a short price of 50, for a small price of 50 lakhs. That they then the Miss Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, and Motilal Vora went to Motilal Vora, and that Motilal Vora, as chairman of AJL, decided to liquidate that debt by giving them 9 lakh shares of 10 rupees each. 10 rupees is what it was in 1937. So at 10 rupees, without consulting the small number of existing shareholders who were sons and daughters of those who took it in 1937, and Kajju is now in the hands of the Supreme Court judge, but his father Kailash Nath Kajju, very famous congressman, he was the original shareholder. So they were not consulted. Shanti Bhushan was not consulted. So therefore, this transaction led to 99.1% of the total shares in the name of who? In the name of young Indian. And this young Indian then said, you continue as an identity, but you are we are what is there's a technical term for it, wholly owned subsidiary of young Indian. So wholly owned subsidiary obviously means that all important decisions will be taken by the young Indian. So today they say, no, that's a separate country, a separate company, it's still existing. That's all bluff, because they are banking on the fact that people don't know company law. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of young Indian. And young Indian, it's no more important for me whether they are 25 section 25 company or not. The fact is that all these transactions are fraudulent transactions, and the prosecution is only on the fraud. It's not whether they have minted money or swallowed money. None of that, you see, because we are not concerned with that. We are concerned with the fact that you shouldn't have the AJL in your hands in the first place. It was all done by fraud, cheating, and so on. So, as I've described it to, so therefore, it's a watertight case. There are no witnesses to depose. Then it's all documents, and all that is the delay is because every time we get a favorable direction from the court, they will go to a higher court and all the way to Supreme Court, and that usually takes 3-4 years, 2-3 years, and we have only done 10 years, and we have brought them to the brink. And all that needs to happen is now framing of charges, because I am now at the stage of framing of charges. As soon as the cross-examination of mine is completed, it's more or less completed, and we'll go and start framing charges, and then the trial will start. And at that time, they'll, of course, it'll be at the mercy of the court whether to keep them in jail or as a flight risk, or give them bail. We'll see at that stage. Even at the stage of when they had received the summons, there was a question, should they be kept in jail for custodial interrogation? And I said, no, this is too early a stage, because what, they will go again and then come out. Like Chidambaram went in for 106 days. Now he's outside. So, I mean, nothing much will be. They should be prosecuted and found guilty, and then they should go to jail. then it becomes a serious matter. So this is the total picture. Now, if you have done also tremendous work, except that you didn't go to court, but we all benefited by reading your research and your book, which is, I can see now much more clearly, is National Herald Frauds, which should be bought by everybody and read by everybody, particularly journalists, because they all ask me elementary questions, so they can read your book and
They get
know
all the
that.
data. That's true.
Yeah.
Dr. Swamy, a couple of things that came to my mind, sir. One is you mentioned about the Hawala routing or the money laundering through the Dotex merchandise route. Dr. Swamy, I remember Aam Aadmi Party used the same exact company, Dotex merchandise, to get funding. And when they were caught with their hand in the cookie jar, they returned it. But that doesn't mean that they did not commit the fraud. They are
Yeah,
also liable. So you see, you one man you can bring down Aam Aadmi Party also once this case goes somewhere.
but why is the Narendra Modi government not doing it? You see, they were the ones who he is totally sidelined me. This one, I have, even before you became prime minister, I had taken it up. That's why I have continued it. But these other things, he can do. He can do many more things. You see, but as a matter of regret, because we came to power saying we will abolish corruption, and we haven't been able to do anything of that kind. And
And
but if I succeed in National Herald, it will be an example. And they are not ordinary people being sent to jail. Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, they are touch me nots, you see. And if they go, I think then the wheels will start moving, and even Modi cannot stop it.
Dr. Swamy, one of the things, the explanations trotted out, sir, is that, if you put these people in jail, then people will become more sympathetic towards the Gandhis, and that could result in an electoral adversity. Sir, my suggestion, I am always good at giving unasked for advice. The BJP IT cell can run a survey, find out what the people are thinking across the
No,
country, and
no,
then decide.
BJP IT cell should be first sent to jail and ask them to clean it up so that these people can go. No, this is all ridiculous nonsense. See, sympathy. I don't care. I have promised the public that I'll fight for corruption, against corruption. And we take it to the logical extreme. And if you feel sympathy, then go to hell. I mean, I've done my work. We had promised you we'll fight corruption. We fought corruption. Why should I care? And how many people are going to feel sympathy, you see? Mrs. Gandhi had got sympathy because it was a fiasco. She was picked up on a hastily given order of Charan Singh, and they went to court without the case diary. And so the first thing the magistrate said, "Where's the case diary?" And they didn't have the case diary. So he said, "Freed." So, and then of course, the momentum had already started. But I did do one thing. I told Moraji Desai, whatever it is, we must have her in jail for some time. Because she sent all of you for jail for we can't say that we couldn't do it. So we went in a different direction. She had tampered with the questions in Parliament on Maruti. And we caught her red-handed on that. And she was sent to jail. She was in Tihar jail for 19 days. But then it was too close to elections. And then the Janata Party broke. That was the thing that made people angry. That we gave you all this vote, you all came together, promised, you went to Rajghat and said we will never break up. And you broke up. So that is what led to Mrs. Gandhi's return. Not that she was very well received or very well thought of.
Dr. Swamy, if you will beg my side direction here, see what had happened at the time of this no confidence motion was Jagjeevan Ram insisted that Morarji resign before the vote of no confidence. I don't remember if that was a prerequisite for a sitting prime minister with an absolute majority to resign before the vote of confidence. Why did Jagjeevan Ram ask that, sir?
Well, I don't think there was ever a vote of confidence. What was
They were
happening?
going to go for that, right?
No, I will tell you some of Charan Singh split.
Yes.
Mrs. Gandhi gave him support. On paper, it was clear he had majority. So Sanjeeva Reddy called for Charan Singh to present the list of names. And Moraji decided to use a list of names to decide whether a confidence vote was necessary. Vajpayee, later on, when I moved the matter, he had to face a confidence vote and he lost it by one vote. That is
Right.
1990. But that was
Right.
managed by me.
Right.
But
So,
this one, I was an advisor to Moraji, but Moraji was carried away by Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Ramkrishna Hegde to say to get Sanjeeva Reddy to agree, who is the President of India, to agree to receive lists and then make up his mind. And if he still wanted a vote of confidence, he could have got it done. Now, the list presented by Moraji Desai was larger in numbers than the lists provided by Charan Singh. That is, in order to determine who is the real Janata Party. But, and this is something which someday will come out if I write a book on the whole episode. Moraji had about 13 names who, the moment he gave the thing to the president, held a press conference to say that our name is in the list, but we never signed it. It's a forgery. The forgery was done by Mr. Ramkrishna Hegde and Atal Bihari Vajpayee. And Moraji then immediately submitted his resignation. There was no vote of confidence. Yes, in 1999, there was a vote of confidence and Vajpayee lost by one vote. I had predicted we'll win against Mr. Vajpayee. I was not in BJP at that time. I was Janata Party. These people had gone out and created BJP. And later on, because of this Hindutva movement and so on, everybody said, no, we all must come together. At that time, I came and joined, merged with Janata Party with BJP. So there, it was very clear. But here, we never had a vote of confidence at all. It was the list submitted to Sanjeeva Reddy, and Sanjeeva Reddy discovering, because he also must have been, he hated Moraji. So he may have been part of the racket. And he immediately issued a press release that the list presented by Moraji Desai has people, 13 people whose signatures have been forged. And I've obtained all those 13 people who said we never signed this, and I've checked their original parliament record signature, and they are right. And therefore, I am inviting Charan Singh to form the government. But Charan Singh didn't have majority, but he had Indira Gandhi's support. So Charan Singh was invited to form the government. And one day before, or 2 days before, the vote of confidence against Mr. Charan Singh, or for Mr. Charan Singh, Charan Singh was confronted with a situation of a demand of Ms. Indira Gandhi that the special court set up for Sanjay Gandhi will be abolished. Otherwise, she said, I will vote against you. I'll break the alliance. And he said, no, I won't do it. Now, see, so in a sense, even Parmacharya told me, என்ன இருந்தாலும் அவர் அது ஒத்துக்கலையே. That is, whatever it is, he didn't agree to that. So don't be so harsh with Charan Singh. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. We lost the government. And once we lost the government, the people were so hated. I mean, I got elected again. because I was considered part of the exceptions, you see. But from Bombay, I got again elected, and again with a large margin compared to others. So, but we were reduced from 330 to 32. And that got split further because Mr. Vajpayee immediately left and created BJP with 16 MPs. Janata Party was destroyed. So that was the background. Now, I'm saying all this because it is important to know that is there a commitment to fight corruption as a team? Answer is no. Mr. Modi, today the government is doing this. People saying Modi is doing. No, it was what this ED is doing is on the basis of my complaint to them, which they are bound to, either reject or accept. Earlier on in 2014, Mr. Jaitley got it rejected. Then I came with a much bigger bundle. MR and others were, MR Venkatesh and others, our journalist friend, so all our team, the entire team, got together, and we had done it. So I'm saying today that those fiascos may be anything, but today it's very important because Miss Sonia Gandhi is not a national leader, she is an international leader, appointed as a leader of India, not by the people of India, but by some countries who I can name, who she has agreement with. You know that Putin picked up Miss Sonia Gandhi and took her to Vladimir near St. Petersburg to just show where her father was kept as a prisoner. Hitler army. He was a soldier of the Hitler's army, and Putin she wanted to see that, and he made a special trip with her and showed it to her, because there is a collegium there between Putin's former employees and Sonia Gandhi's former employees. 3 alphabets, KGB.
Dr. Swamy, so this thing about brouhaha about, taking them to jail, arresting them by the ED, that's just for custodial interrogation, right? I mean, at some point of time, they'll have to let them out again.
Yeah, of course. I'm not very enthusiastic about they're going to jail. You see, if she was going on a jail on a conviction of, say, 5 years, 10 years, so on, then the entire public will be with us. Today, you take they may be rejoicing here and there, but then when she comes out, his life has before. 106 days, Mr. Chidambaram was in jail. When he came out, who boycotted him? He was back writing in Indian Express. Of course, he's not much of a politician. He's just a machine man. But still, that is the thing. So I would say, if the ED on their own want to arrest her, I would not, criticize it. But if they don't, I'll say nothing is lost. I mean, in politics, if you have this kind of black mark on you, that's enough jailing. People like their leaders, if they want to be called honest, to be speak and span.
Dr. Swamy, I see one symbolic thing. If the ED does take the Gandhis into custodial interrogation, Dr. Swamy, this is actually something that you have been saying all along, in that if the most powerful person in a 10-year era is sent to jail, custodial interrogation is you and I talking technical stuff. In vernacular, it will say they've been taken to jail or jailed or something like that, right? So that will send a shiver down the spine of many of these regional satraps and all the other people who now continue to be corrupt. You can say that the center may appear to be not corrupt, but I can't say the same. about all the states. The states are rampant corruption-wise.
Yeah,
Just
but you
my
see,
observation, sir. Yeah.
no. You have an important point. I'll have to answer it. The important point is, at this stage, if you don't, because there's been already speculation she's going to jail, and you don't, then it looks as if you got chicken.
Yes.
Seeing the demonstration of Congress and all that, and media is no friend of us. They're afraid of us, but I'm afraid of BJP. But they are not friends of BJP. And if they can get away with it, they will say write anything against BJP. So you send her, and then she comes out, and then a big mass receives her and takes her in a procession and so on. The impression will be that she's been declared innocent. After that, trial and all that. So I would say the psychic pleasure that many people will get by her going to jail is not commensurate, and much less than commensurate, than her coming out and creating an aura that she has been vindicated. Mrs. Gandhi also, when she was arrested, taken to the magistrate said, no, I can't send her to jail just now, because he was not going to convict her. He had to decide whether to send her to jail or not. He said, no, I'm not going to send her to jail unless you give me the book
Casebook?
which
Yeah.
contains
Casebook.
case book, which lists the time, date, and all of each step that the police has taken. And then we could have gone back, but by then everything had exploded. So that requires a great deal of skill.
Well, I think that's where things stand right now. And viewers, I apologize. Dr. Swamy has to go somewhere, so I have to cut this thing very soon. Dr. Swamy, conclusion comments are, we have about 4 or 5 minutes. Please feel free to conclude on this. And then I think we want to give the people the hope that, Dharma will prevail, Satyameva Jayate, but it takes time. And so I give it to you, sir. Please conclude, and then we can call it a show.
So you see, in our entire nation's history, it has never been numbers which have mattered. The Pandavas are only 5, but they had Krishna, which Duryodhana didn't realize. He said, no, to Krishna, I want your army, and not you. Because the first choice was given to the Duryodhana, and he said, Rama was barefoot in dhoti, bare-bodied, with a bunch of monkeys, and defeated Ravan. So in this case, in our country, the moral question is still a very powerful question. However, the cynicism has eroded it, but it's still there. Gandhi used to walk half naked, but he was Mahatma. So today I would say that if our government does not put corrupt in jail, after having said we will do this, we will do that, we'll get the money from abroad, and all these are doable things. I have shown that as an individual, I can send the most powerful person in the opposition to this state of affairs by just knowing the law. If a government had decided, this what the ED is doing today, Mr. Jaitley put his whole authority, because ED is under the finance ministry. He said there's nothing in it. If they're taken some money, let them give it back and we'll forget about it. So in that climate, what has happened today is a major step forward, and we must take it forward. And people like you must continue to write books so that we people also learn how to move forward.
Yes, indeed, Dr. Swamy, I'm committed to doing that. And you know what I'm writing about next. I'll let you know when I meet you in person next month, sir. And viewers, thank you so much. We reached a milestone today, 200,000 subscribers. And we would like to get to 500,000. And you can make it happen. All your friends who are just watching our videos, tell them to subscribe to us so that more people will get to see the videos. Dr. Swamy's Twitter account, my Twitter account, my PGurus handle, all are shadow banned. I'm going to tell this thing in open public because the rate at which it should be growing is phenomenal, but it is not happening. So somebody has put a spanner in the works, and they don't care. They don't care that the truth is being suppressed in all these people, all these things. So what is going to happen? Twitter is going to fold up. I'm telling you today, Dr. Swamy, Twitter is going to fold up. Elon Musk, whether he buys it or not, he has dealt it a body blow. Same thing is going to happen with Meta, that is Facebook. Both these people are perceived as shadow banners. That karma will catch them. Any rate, thank you very much, Dr. Swamy, because we got to hear from you some new stories that have not been discussed before. Viewers, that alone should be reason for you to share this video with all your friends. Thank you very much, Dr. Swamy, and namaskar.
Bye. Namaskar.